Good morning, everybody. So, I wanted to make a review of my inner engineering online completion program. So, I've been introduced to Sadhguru since 2016, 2017, and I've been doing Isha Kriya, and I've done some other meditations of his. I've enjoyed his talks a lot. They have a lot of wisdom. They're very logical, they go very deep, and they're very simple. Right? Almost everybody can understand them and relate to them. Now, when I first heard about his inner engineering online program, I received a voucher through another channel that I was subscribed to. So I had a discount and I was able to complete it with my partner. It was very tremendous. But then after you go through each lesson, which is very comprehensive, which is very nicely presented, and it gives you a lot of, let's say, it tackles every dimension of your life, and it brings it all together in a whole picture, right? So you have a lot of clarity about a lot of things, but it's all concepts, it's all ideas, right? And learning about ideas doesn't transform you, right? You have to actually do something. So the completion itself is the Shambhavi mahamudra Kriya, which is normally done in person, but they've decided to do it online. And it's a 2-day event or a 3-day event, I think. It was a 3-day event. So I signed up for it, paid around 170 euros. And the first sessions were very professional. I was actually surprised by how professional, on time, how neat everything was. It was so beautifully woven. There was a lot of infrastructure that you could see behind that was very strict, and it was very simple, very clear, very effective. So Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya consists of a couple of phases. So first you have the preparatory phase where you do 2 asanas or 3 asanas. So you do bodily exercises to loosen up your limbs, to loosen up your body. So in the first session, we went through each video with the teacher, with complementary videos, and there was also like time for question and answer. There were a lot of moments where you could correct yourself. So because your webcam was on, while you were doing it, they would be actually watching you, and sometimes they would give you advice on how to correct your pose. But they said, like, the more you do it, the more it will be more and more in alignment. So that was okay. And then the next session, we primarily worked with what came after that. And what came after that, the second phase of Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya, is breathing exercises. So it's a breathing exercise to balance your hemispheres. And after the breathing exercise, there's a Om chanting. The Om chanting is 21 times, I believe. Yeah. And after that, you feel really energized. You feel really, it's like, you feel the spaciousness inside and the resonance inside of you. You're very centered, you're very balanced. And then after that, there's a next phase, right? And the next phase, and that was done on the 3rd day, I believe, or in the second, it was on the 3rd day. So in the next phase, you have 3 exercises. The first one is you do a very rapid kind of breathing by which your heart rate starts to race and your body goes into almost this fight or flight response, right? And after that, your energy goes really high in that exercise. And after that, there are a couple of specific bandhas, locks, where you lock the energy in certain places, and then the energy gets concentrated there. And there's a kind of special breathing that you have to do with it, special way to breathe in and to breathe out. And after that, you just relax and you listen to Sadhguru sing and there's music. And it's a very powerful process. So on the last day, when you've gone through all the days where there's instructions and you learn, and there's also like moments where you do everything together. So you go step by step. You do the physical first, then the second phase, then the first and the second, and then the third, and then first, second, third, all together. And then on the last day, they show this video. I don't know if it was live or not. I think it was live. He comes up on the stage and he does his thing, you know, where he flutes like. So he does that, and then he guides you through each exercise. And apparently you're supposed to, if you really give yourself to the exercise, your system will do it by itself. So the process will become a part of you. It will become alive. So whenever you start to do it, your system can automatically attune itself to go with the process in a very effortless way. And without a timer or without a guidance, you should be able to complete it in exactly 21 minutes, right? I've had those periods. I was actually surprised that it does. Like when you internalize this process, it's like something very natural that your body does. And it just, it's like these simulations in which your body is like adjusted, and it's very smooth, it's very nice, it's very calming, and it doesn't feel like 21 minutes. It feels like nothing. So on the day of the initiation, right, where you get the transmission, because why did they do it in person before? Because you're supposed to get a certain kind of transmission, right? So because he's a guru, he initiates you into the practice, and I didn't know what that meant. I know a lot of people talk about this, to get a transmission from a guru, to get his grace. What did that mean? So the session started, and as we were going through it, I noticed that there was a lot of very raw energy in my body. Like this time, it was very intense and raw and visceral. I felt my body was charged with energy. And so at the end, when it was done, you're in this emptiness, right? And you just sit there with your eyes closed, and you're looking at this darkness. And all of a sudden, when he starts to sing, like you're emotionally aroused, right? And he's making these flute sounds, clapping in his hand, and all of a sudden, light begins to appear before your eyes. Light begins to appear, and like shifting, energy is shifting, energy is morphing forms. You see different things. Body is shaking sometimes. Body starts to shake, like the energy inside is like doing something, having a kind of readjustment, or trying to move certain blockages. I don't know. So at that point, you go through certain phases. I sat there, and my body was shaking, and then I saw just light. And then one moment, it was so interesting. I saw this energy form appear. And this energy form was like, there's a glass wall or shield here, and I could see the energy appear, and it was like trying to come to me, to almost like enter me. It felt very confrontating, but I really felt like another consciousness, or an energy form. It tried to connect with me, to come into me. And in that moment, what happened, I never expected this to happen, but like honestly, I swear this happened. In my heart, initially there was this fear, like, oh my God, what's happening? Is there like some possession or some kind of thing going on? What was this thing? And in my heart, a warm feeling became alive. And in my heart, I dropped into my heart, and I felt I love Jesus Christ. I love Jesus Christ. Like those words, they started to come by themselves. I was just like aware of being in this open spaciousness, and like it came. I love Jesus Christ. I love Jesus Christ. I believe in Jesus Christ. And like every time that those words were said, my heart would flare up with energy, flare up with energy, flare up with energy, flare up with energy. And it would almost say, like I felt there's no room for you because I already have Jesus Christ in my heart. So there's no room for you. And the energy, it stopped coming to me. And then like something in me, like my intuition or whatever, it said, if you are the same energy as Jesus Christ, I'm open to you. I welcome you. And it just stayed there. And then it just stayed there. It was just passive. But then I started to have visions. All of a sudden, I would see like the world. I would see like certain changes, like I would see myself play a certain role in the world. I would see how I would be in the world, giving love, expressing love, be a source of love, and that was the thing that I really wanted to do and needed to do. Like different visions about the future, about my role in the world, about my soul, and the energy never really connected or fully went into me, but because it was already occupied by the love for Jesus Christ. And after the session was over, I just felt like I had gone through this massive energetic like storm inside, because I felt quite different. That it was very interesting. Now, the days after, you get access to this app on your phone or on your device, where you can do a guided meditation for 40 days. And you also have a WhatsApp group, so you can ask questions. And I did do the practice. I did continue the practice, but I had the same experience recur again, right? So the energy was trying to come, but it was never to come into me. I think in a way, I remember that some gurus, I don't know if this is a fact, but I know some gurus, they really want you to invite them in your heart, to open your heart for them, right? I remember this one video I saw about a devotee of Adida. He was also a big guru in the days. He talked about, when you were in his presence, he was so amazing. You just would kneel for him and open yourself for him. But then he would ask one of his devotees, or the people that really wanted to be devoted to him, like, give me your heart. Give me your heart. Like, let me in your heart. And some people rejected that because they felt like, no, I don't want to give my heart to you, to anybody. Like, that's only for God. And then he left him. And that story stuck with me because, I believe in Jesus Christ, sure, because I was brought up in the tradition that I was brought up in, right? Christian Orthodox. But throughout my life, I've prayed so often to the energy that he represents, because I don't know who he was. I don't know what kind of person he was, what he did, but I do know the unconditional love energy that he represents. And that is what I admire, what I desire, what I wish to be, what I wish to embody. And it's so fixed in my heart. And through the Shambhavi mahamudra Kriya, I became aware of it. Now, after the sessions, I kept using Shambhavi daily, once a day, not twice a day. And what I would notice is that whenever I would use it, my Kundalini energy in my body throughout my day would be very active. Intuitively, my perception abilities were way more, let's say, emotionally intuitive. I would feel things way more. I would sense things way more. I would have these spontaneous insights, spontaneous feelings that would come. Altered state of consciousness. It's a very interesting practice, but the inner engineering program itself, I really recommend it. Like when I was looking at the videos that you see when you're waiting for the initiation, like what this man has done in his life, the amount of energy and effort he put into, charity and doing good deeds for the world. I mean, it's so awe-inspiring. Like the things he's done, I'm like, huh, like how could you do so much for the world? This is so inspiring. This is amazing. So I do admire that. I admire that. And there's this one meditation that he does with you. It's before the initiation, where he gets you into this state where you imagine that you're like a mother to earth, right? And you take care of everybody and everything as if you're a mother. And that really stuck with me. It was a very beautiful experience to go through that, because you then feel not responsible, but you feel an affinity to give to everybody, to take care of everybody, to wish the best for everybody. It was a tremendous experience. So do I recommend the inner engineering online program? I do. It's genuine, it's sincere, it's very professional, it's very well structured, and you'll definitely have an experience. Like, I'm sure of it, you'll have an experience